Thank you for being here today to our weekly town hall. My name is Menla, and Dory and I will be hosting today, and we're very fortunate to have Timo Spekkens with us, even though it says Lama Surya Das. That is not Lama Surya Das. He did not have a facelift over the week. This is Timo, our good friend from California, longtime student and friend of Lama Surya's, who will be leading us today. And I know that some of you participate in his daily Zogen LA practice that he has every day, same time on the East Coast. So you can always check that out if you needing a little bit more in between Sundays. But thank you for being here. We always appreciate you coming and listening. So I'm going to start with just a couple of announcements to get us going today. We have coming up this summer, we have two pop-up classes, one in June in a few weeks, Death, Dying in the Bardo, and one in July on karma. Two topics that Lama doesn't speak publicly about very often, so it'll be exciting to hear what he has to say. And then in October, we have our in-person meditation retreat in Litchfield, Connecticut. We also, I don't have the ad for it today, but we do have a day long that was moved from yesterday to September. So we'll have that coming up September 21st. So hope you can join us for some of those things. And with that, I will turn it over to Timo to lead us today in our practice. Thank you for being here, everyone.
Thank you, Menla. Menla is always such a profound helper of Lama and a great leader in the community here. Thank you so much. And here I'm just looking around a little bit. See lots of old friends, new friends to me. Maybe you've been around for a bit. Hi, everyone. Some of you see me a lot. Some of you might be the first time. Lovely to be with you. Welcome in Lama Surya's, the Jolly Lama is sometimes called, his light-hearted wisdom playroom here. Hey. So, your motivation to be in community in this way, to be with a group of people who are actively cultivating awareness and kindness, is not a trivial thing. Really feel into that all of us are here with that intent. So I feel very grateful to be with you. Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah. So we could say two awarenesses are better than one. Let's look here. So 41, I'm getting greedy now. And we have quite a few on Facebook Live too, so welcome there too. So really feeling into this overlap of if awareness is boundless, then here we are just sharing this open spaciousness. Loving awakened awareness, love, like vibrating, pulsating. The next coming of the Buddha is the Sangha. Here we are, the Buddha arising in the collective, in its loving way. I have to change the view because I'm just seeing my own big face. I like to see you all. So you don't have to look at my big face. I like if you sit kind of in a circle, in the Sangha, so you can switch your perspective. So let's all enter awareness right now. Let's take a breath together. So entering, implies a movement. It's not even a movement. Lama Surya often says, from here to completely here. And but it's also more like a unfolding and opening, a dropping. So allowing awareness to be more in the foreground. So habitual mind is less in the foreground and drops back a little bit. And then there's more room for the and blossoming and expanding of awareness. Just allow it to be open. So of course we are mindful. We know our experience, but the mindfulness always implies also that we know that we know. So it's the knowing quality which is the gateway where there is no wall. So just sit in the continuity of that knowing, and it's just so amazing that there is consciousness. We take that so for granted. So again, there's the knowing of events or appearance, all thoughts, feelings, emotions, and perceptions arising. And then there's the direct knowing, and that's where we step into Sochen, the direct knowing perspective, the direct knowing of beingness. So let's take a breath there again. So natural breath and energy, natural body. So this beingness is not a being, but it is the boundless, spontaneous stream of beingness from which all beings arise. We can sense into that, be into that. We can feel deeply into our beingness, and then indeed our beingness. My beingness, our beingness, and then pure beingness just pulsating. So the beingness and the beingfulness. So there's the fullness is the cognitive capacity, the knowing quality, and then all the movement, all the incredible, amazing movement of a life. So our amness is not simply personal identity or a psychological event, but rather a direct self-knowing. So that's already awakening right there. Don't let any limiting beliefs get in the way of your awakened perspective. You are the awakened one on your seat. And whatever little shimmer of not awakenedness is in there is a limiting belief. So allow trust and confidence to arise that all ingredients for your awakening are just beautifully right there. So we could say that maybe our mind, with a little m, so we could say that our mind and awareness are not the same thing. And our mind and the knowing quality of beingness are maybe not the same thing either. It's a playfulness, because ultimately, just boundless wholeness. So Semni Nelak Parjindi Laptusol. Please bless us that we may come to recognize the nature of mind, the natural state. So here we are, the practice of sitting and staying within the continuity of the recognition of our nature of mind. The direct knowing of beingness. And then when awareness becomes more and more interested in itself and comes home to its true essence, then it turns to appearance again. But it kind of holds this bidirectional perspective. I know the limits of vocabulary. It's kind of folded in to the beingness at all times while a life arises. So right now, just let's suspend our habitual minds a bit. We allow the restlessness and instability of an apparent personal identity to come to rest a little. Really, let's suspend the movement of the habitual mind, just as a little practice to create some space and allow the luminosity of our beingness to shine. No longer trying to figure out what is my true essence. Who or what am I? What is it that is here at the heart of my experience? What we truly are, we cannot figure out. We can only be it. And then, there's the Buddha arising on your seat. We become the answer. Would you want your infinite, boundless, brilliantly luminous, awake beingness to be something you can figure out? Or do you wish this infinitely, brilliantly awake awareness to be so marvelous you could never explain it from the perspective of the ordinary mind? So the boundless wholeness being as self-expressing the beautiful, sparkling, tender and sweet expression of what it feels like to be you right now. Not stepping away from our lives, not transcending, but just allowing it all to be here in all its modulations, including the little bits that we sometimes refer to as not wanted. So fresh mind, fresh perception prior to labeling. Just pull up in the light, fresh, bright. As if seeing the world for the first time. You don't even have to be in your meditative position and stance in mind and body. You can look around. Here I am. And then there is somewhat of a somatic embodiment, a sense of feeling within the body. When you become spacious and aware, can you identify that little shimmer in your body? A sparkling immediacy? Let's feel into that. Sometimes that feeling arises when we become more aware. And sometimes it's the other way around. From our beautiful practice, there is like a residual resonance in the body. The body doesn't forget. It holds on to difficult mind states, and old emotions of us and our ancestors are maybe still entrenched in our body. But slowly also the healing resonance of our beautiful practice and our awakened awareness stance in the world is entrenched in our bodies. And sometimes we forget we are thinking, and our bodies suddenly remind us like, hey, come on home. So our bodies as a sweet little helper, a little awakening helper. It's maybe something we can talk about at the end if you have that experience. So let's take a breath. Just drop everything. Let awareness completely come to the foreground as a sphere. Now see if you can sense into the beingness of everyone on this call. Let's flow out to each other. Just really coming into the very immediacy of the beautiful intent of this loving, awakening family. And just holding everyone with that beautiful, sweet, open-hearted, awakened perspective. It's not for nothing they call these teachings and these mind training traditions the heart essence. We don't have to know someone very well to appreciate their goodness. Ultimately, we don't have to know them at all, or maybe or even like them, to know their goodness. Just simply appreciating the goodness in this Sangha right here, right now, online. This loving kindness space. Thank you, Lama Surya, for creating this beautiful community. May you all be happy, may you all be peaceful, may you all be safe, and always find this beautiful, safe space right in your hearts. So really holding everyone from that bright, open, aware beingness perspective. So then that is not the usual objective witness consciousness. Some kind of myopic, voyeuristic witness perspective, but rather this direct embracing, loving knowingness. Can you feel that? It's what this is all about. So please right now, be the presence of awareness, love, knowingly. So spacious awareness, love is not disassociation. It's metabolization. Instead of metabolizing thoughts, feelings, and emotions and perceptions through other thoughts and feelings and emotions, and it then just becoming a downward spiral, leaning towards negative bias and psychological chaos, we start to experience the world as a place of fear when it just comes to the usual survival mechanism perspective. But when we metabolize all experience through the healing light of boundless wholeness, awareness, we start experiencing all things as beauty and all beings as compassion. Learning to keep our minds that open and free is the path of spacious liberation and the Buddha awakening on your seat. Just this experience of having a path feels like goodness. We have been longing for happiness and peace our whole lives, and now we come to know more and more that there is no destination but the path itself, which is goodness upon goodness. And we fall in love with the path and the Dharma, and find that peace and happiness are ever present in our beingness. Our beingness. In this collective, shimmering immediacy. Let's take a present breath on that, like a pet, an awakening again. Mouth open, like the ah sound resonating automatically. We find that peace and happiness are ever spontaneously presencing within our beingness. And this deep trust and a confidence indeed arises that all ingredients and capacities for our awakening have always been shimmering right below the turmoil of our finite what about me minds. And then we experience the profound relief from being out of the grips of these kind of compulsive, ambivalent thoughts and feelings and elaborations. This is so relieving. It's so relieving. As we continue to walk this path of spacious liberation, walking a path that may unfold in millions of different ways. Every Buddha, so creative and unique in their skillful expression of wisdom and compassion in the world. And from that perspective, I bow to the Buddha on your seat. Don't overlook her, as Lama Surya so often says, so often so lovingly says. So Dory, if you can you please put up the prayer book and we take refuge with a little inspiration. The pure perception and bodhicitta. We and all beings are primordially Buddha. Knowing this to be essentially true, we give rise to the awakened loving mind of supreme enlightenment. May all beings possess happiness and the inner causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and inner causes of suffering. May all beings remain undivided from the sacred joy which is free from suffering. May all beings come to rest in great peace and equanimity, beyond attachment and aversion to friends, enemies, or strangers. So, even if you're not much of a sounder, singer, mantra, chanter, maybe it's good to just hum along a little bit. There is knowledge held in these sounds. Perhaps more accurate to say that the mantra syllables are vibrational shapes of perfect knowledge. And it's also a habituation of pure speech, of speaking straight from the boundless wholeness, from the Buddha mind. May the sounding of your voice cause the flourishing of positive mind states in all beings that enter your realm. So the Om resonating for a natural body, the Ah, natural breath and energy, and Hung, the din of the universe, natural heart and mind. Om Ahung Benzar Guru Pe Mai Siddhi Hung. 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 Coming straight from awakened awareness, from the beingness, sounding straight from the field. Om Ahung Benzar Guru Pe Mai Siddhi Hung. 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 Softly, gently. Om Ahung Benzar Guru Pe Mai Siddhi Hung. Om Ahung Benzar Guru Pe Mai Siddhi Hung. Pure speech, loving speech. Om Ahung Benzar Guru Pe Mai Siddhi Hung. Om Ahung Benzar Guru Pe Mai Siddhi Hung. So allow awareness to descend from the office where it usually resides, behind the eyes, down the cheekbones, the chest, and come to rest in the heart. Awareing from the heart. While there noticing the beautiful innocence and wish for happiness, and ultimately the wish for the happiness of all beings right there. And then allow awareness to come up from the heart, flow out from the eyes. Mingle knowing awareness with the space all around. And mingle the space all around with knowing awareness. So no longer confined by the boundaries of your anatomy. Just open up. If you're used to going boundless, just flow out. If it's just kind of around here, like a halo, that's beautiful. And then not pushing or pulling, resting right there. It's an allowing, not a pushing. Notice that the more you just relax the habitual patterns, even the implicit ones, it just flows out. Gazing into the field of boundless wholeness, beingness. Maybe identify that the field of awareness knowingly right now didn't rise. It was revealed. It's always shining in its full brightness. Just unveiling your true essence. Always right with us in its sparkling immediacy, its lovey sweetness. And maybe saturate the whole room that you're in. So if we say awareness doesn't rise and fall, come and go, we could say it's timeless. All experience comes and goes. Awareness ever present. So close, so close. So close, because we are it. So just the perspective shift now from gazing into the boundless field to being the field. So let's take a breath on that. Just shift into the being the field. Indeed. So truly let it be boundless then. Why does it need to be confined by your room? Just open up, even without visualizations, or include your neighborhood, the world, just flow out. A boundless wholeness, awakened field of being, big enough for all possible universes to arise. And just resting right there. Bright mind, fresh mind, boundless loving mind. Longchenpa, a teacher long ago in this beautiful tradition, said, "The open nature of my own and that of all living beings' awareness, consciousness, is always completely pure." See if we can really sense into that purity of our awareness. And then not acquiring some subtle attachment of sitting on this lovely cosmic rainbow. Just allow everything that you are to just flow. Don't hold the mind too tight. Let things come and go. Allow the mind to move if it wishes to. Just don't let the lucidity of your awakened awareness be dimmed by the movement. Maybe registering the insubstantiality of anything that arises, because it comes and goes. It needs to come in the healing light of the clear light mind. Just really, immediately upon arising, catching everything by the nose, realizing it's all the fabric of awareness. And it all returns back, it arises and falls back into awareness. Like snowflakes melting in a warm ocean. Like an ocean gazing lovingly upon its own waves. And maybe a little bit the last vestige here, the meditator. Just unfold awareness from the center. So any localization or a meditator or any personal identity dissolves also into this warm, welcoming ocean. And then this reorienting awareness inside out, like Lama Surya says, like a little bubble of awareness in the ocean of awareness, the simplicity of awareness gravitating towards the vastness and totality of awareness. Now rest there. Bright and undistracted. Let's take a breath for a refresh. Now the everything sacred perspective. The profound, the profane, and the mundane, all arising as the beauty of being. Another instruction coming down the ancient wisdom tradition is lightheartedness. not so serious. As La Merceria says, even suspending the self-improvement project, if there's anything in there, maybe subconsciously, implicitly, just let that go too. Dissolve. Like a snowflake in a warm ocean. And while you're so beautifully open and aware, let me resonate in your field of hearing with a short poem of David White. In this high place, it is as simple as this. Leave everything you know behind. Leave everything you know behind. Step toward the cold surface. Say the old prayer of rough, unbridled love, and open both arms. Those who come with empty hands will stare into the lake astonished. Will stare into the lake astonished. There, in the cold light, reflecting pure snow, the true shape of your own face. Come on home, sweet yogi. It's all good. You are the all good. And don't let any limiting beliefs tell you otherwise. Let's take a breath together again. For the last few minutes, always refresh the view. If your mind was a bit distracted, it's just a sign of its beautiful creativity. Just come on home. Always right with us. Boundless. Timeless. Welcoming. A view as steady as the earth below us, and a meditation as deep and profound as all the oceans. from this beautiful perspective, the meditation never started and never ended. May this be the beautiful perspective of your lives, being the meditation. And from here, we come to truly care about suffering and the suffering of others. Our field of empathy gets wider and wider. And as we become more and more intimate with the tenderness of suffering, we know it deep in our bodies, and we come to know it in our bones. And we are cultivating a deep patience. We know these practices are a multi-generational effort to live in a more humane, rightful society and world. That's the beauty of our collective. May we be the essence of healing for all sentient beings in this interconnected sea of beings. May we express innate love, happiness and peace. May we feel deeply into the beauty and boundless wholeness of our own authentic nature. May our hearts shine with compassionate understanding in this ocean of awareness love. May we know peace and be peace. May we be free from the illusory dreams that keep us bound. We vow to stay open and connected to our innermost wholeness. We wish to hold all those that enter our realm, so they may find their own boundless wholeness and creativity. So they may realize that love is found through loving. May they all be healed throughout their interconnected body-mind continuum. May we all walk together in love and accepting, one beloved community, one family, heart to heart, where we are all just walking each other home. Dory, may we please see the dedication prayers. Thank you, dear. Gewardii nurdudak, Dzogpachempo drup gyurnye, Dorachik yang malupa, Dei sala gopar shok. Through this virtue may we swiftly realize and fully embody the natural great perfection, and that will bring all, without exception, to its complete realization. Jangchup semchok wimposhe, makyepanam kegyorchik, kyepanyam par me paharyang gongne gongdu pelvashok. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. That's right. May all beings everywhere, with whom we are inseparably interconnected, and who want and need the same as we do, may all be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled and free. May there be peace in this world and throughout all realms of existence and all possible universes. An end to war, violence, poverty, injustice and oppression. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey. In gratitude to Lama Surya, without who I wouldn't be sitting here with you. Thank you. And on behalf of all beings, thank you so much for your beautiful practice. Love you very much.
If anyone has any questions for Timo, you can go down to the bottom of your screen under reactions and raise your hand. I'll unmute you. You can stick it in the chat so he can see it directly. I think you gave people a lot to think about there, Timo.
Oh no, that's okay. I like a little bit of that field of movement. Like, shall I say something or not? I mean, there's really nothing that can be said that is not profound. But in the stillness, there's so much said too. It's perfectly okay. Don't let any movement or change in the field dim your beautiful awakened awareness. But if you had any shift or experience or lack of it, or lack of realization or beautiful realization in your practice in general in this time together, it would be beautiful to share. Yes, Sue, we can figure out how we do that. Thank you, Gabrielle. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you. Sometimes it's just beautiful still in our hearts. You're very welcome. Thank you. What a fortunate place for me to be allowed to sit. And I one day asked by Lama Suyat, dare to start opening my big mouth. It changed everything. You can't be a hypocrite. So my practice and my study and my presence while I opened my mouth just completely opened up. So even though we're silent right now, when you finally do start talking again, make sure it comes from this openness, from this wholeness. Can you feel that? So let's just flow all out to each other again from this place, this embrace everyone. Yes. Yes, Fiona, I get that. But also look into, Fiona says, sometimes it's difficult, not togetherness of Sangha, it's difficult to feel connected with virtual images only. So that's why we kind of open up to the field. And from that perspective, time dissolves and also distance dissolves. Can you just feel into that intimacy in the intent and the presence of all on the call? Again, that's not a small thing at all. That's it. So, where do you end and I begin? No out there-ness, no otherness. So whenever in exchange with another, you just hold that perspective, and a Zoom window can get in the way of that. Right, to practice with you too.
Thank you, Timo, for your time in leading us today, and thanks to all of you for being here. We keep going with your generosity through donations and membership. Remember, membership offers discounts to all our programs, so I hope you will be able to join us again next Sunday. And remember, Timo's group, Dzogchen LA, meets during the week, Monday through Saturday, so you can connect there and have that feeling of connectedness with the Sangha. So thank you all. Nice to see you. Be well.
Thank you all. Have a beautiful day. Thank you very much. Be well.